Welcome to Punky's World. Okay, it's Monday and today's Kid Missing is uploading. This is going to be our genealogy video. Okay, first I have an announcement. I am going to get to look at those books at the Historical Society, the store ledgers. The President Lori said that we could make an appointment together to look at them. Which is awesome. I also mailed out that paperwork to hopefully be able to get that so that I can be my mother's voluntary administrator and actually get her medical records. So that'll be interesting. Anyway, to my genealogy. Well, that is part of my genealogy. It all is, I guess. Oh my goodness. My ankles hurt. And again, I've been on my feet for 2 days. Hours each day. Sorry, my nose is running from being outside. I had to run that errand. Got some pictures here that I'm actually going to show my cousin. She's coming when Uncle has his presentation, which is also all genealogy related. You know, we've talked a lot about oral histories. And it's funny the things you remember when you're with your family, you know. I told you the story about that Halloween. It was the hottest Halloween, I swear, and I had to wear that stupid mask. Have you ever almost taken pleasure in excuse me, making someone in some way uncomfortable? I'm not wording it well, but not uncomfortable as in making them feel bad, but I have a situation where someone is snobby, and I talked to the person, was nice to the person, and I appeared to be, she appeared to be completely repulsed and repelled by me, which is fine, because I wasn't the only person. She was clearly didn't want to be with any people there. Too funny. And I didn't let it bother me. I just continued right on with my day, and not my monkeys, not my circus. And so, yeah. But have you ever had a time like that where you knew that the person was there because they had to be, not because they wanted to be, and you knew you were irritating to them? Well, not irritating to them, but that you were not someone that they wanted to be around, and that they didn't really want to be around anybody in the room except their partner. So, anyway. back to the things you remember. It was funny. My cousin never lets me forget the time that she and Lisa fed me sour milk. In fairness, they didn't know it was sour milk. They took it out of the refrigerator, poured it in a bowl, and were feeding it to me from a spoon, pretending I was their baby. And I believe I was sitting up on the step stool chair. So it was higher up, like as if I was in a high chair. I'm like, guys, it's gross, it's sour. And I guess they didn't believe me because they continued to feed it to me. Anyway, that was funny. Like I said, it was funny. Later on, it was funny. So, as adults, it's funny. And then I was playing cards with my aunt and my cousin before everybody arrived. And I said, yeah, and your sons taught me a game, 52 pickup. And they both said, oh, not the boys. Jokingly, sarcastically, oh, not the boys. They wouldn't do that. Yeah, uh-huh. And the funny thing is, the boys would take the cards and what was I gonna say? And they would they said, want to play 52 pickup? And I didn't know what they meant. Well, hello, there were 52 cards in the deck. What do you think they meant? And so anyway, I smell something and I can't figure out where it's coming from. Anyway, but I was too naive to figure out that there are 52 cards in a deck. If they're saying 52 pickup, they're going to drop them all over the floor. Didn't even occur to me. They said, okay, here you go. Tossed the cards in the air all over the floor and walked away. That's a little of my oral history. By the time that I walked my mother wrapped me up and got me all ready for school. It was winter. And wrapped my scarf around me, tied it and everything. I trotted next door and I'm like, why is everybody in their PJs? Why is Dina not ready for school? And her mother goes, it's snow day. There was nothing on the ground. There was like a dusting on the ground and it was a little slick. Another time, this was earlier than when my mother tried to send me to school on a snow day. I'm just glad I didn't walk all the way to school, that I had to pick Dina up first. Otherwise, I would have walked all the way up the hill to find out there was nobody there. So, yeah, there was a time my mother tried to send me to school on a snow day. And there was another time my cousins and I used to sit on really yucky days, and my mother would have the radio on, and we'd be listening for cancellations, because you hardly ever saw ours on the TV, because we live in a small rural town, pretty far away from the news station. If you did, you had to wait. And they usually canceled at the last possible second. So we were all ready to go to school. Again, all bundled up, waiting. And finally, we heard our school was canceled. We cheered like the Red Sox won the World Series, and we went upstairs, sat in the middle of Uncle's living room, played Uno. So it's fun, you know, to have those memories. And I just wish that I had more with my grandmother. Okay, this is my cousin Lisa. Whoops. In high school. These are some pictures I took out for Nene. This is also Lisa. I think that's Renee that she's with. Yep, Lisa and Renee. This is Renee and her godmother. This is Dennis and Grammy. Who knew he was such a chubber? He still doesn't smile. This is Renee and her godfather. Wait a minute. I have two copies of this picture of Lisa and Renee. Hold on. I just showed you that picture. Anyway, this is Lisa and Rob. They've now been married 37 years, together 41 years, I believe they said. This is Grammy and George. Sorry, these Polaroids are a little bit, well, this one is blurry, but Polaroids are a little bit shiny, so they're hard to show, but this one is a blurry picture. So this is George and Grammy, Uncle David, Auntie Joanne, and the kids, and they were tiny. Look how little they all were. If I had to guess a year on this, looking at Dennis, he's probably, well, this is Christmas, I think. So he probably just turned 2. So that would make it 77. So this is about 1977. Dennis's birthday is in September, so he must have just turned 2. Okay, here's a picture. This is Auntie Joanne and Renee here in the front. Lisa's over here, Grammy, Uncle, and Davy. Right over here, this is Lisa, Davy, Uncle, Grammy, and then over here, Renee and Auntie Joe. This is Lisa on Christmas morning. Oh, look at that 80s furniture, maybe even 70s furniture. Yikes. Yep, just 1982. So Lisa would have been 14? Yeah, and I would have been 8. These are a bunch of pictures actually from Christmas of '82. This whole set is Christmas of '82, well, except for that one. This pile here is all Christmas of '82. So So we are, Dennis is 7. David is 8. Renee is 10. Lisa is 14. Because David and I are the same age. There's Auntie Joe and the girls. I think that was the last Christmas that they spent as a complete family. Dennis and his bangs. That is so stinking funny. There's Uncle David and Auntie Joanne. I don't think they were married any longer at that time. I believe they got divorced when Dennis was 2. But that was the last Christmas they spent together anyway. And this is all of us with my grandmother. David is shirtless, so we'll cover him up. But I'm just covering David's body. Okay, we have Grammy, Normandy, Renee, and up here we have Richie, Lisa. Down here, David, me, Dennis. And looking at this picture, this is probably about 77. Maybe, yeah, about 77, 78. It's funny. Well, Richie doesn't look happy, but the other kids in the back are smiling. And Dennis, David, and I are looking off to the side at something. Not paying attention at all. We're not paying attention at all. Here is Nay. She was a little cutie. Pretty sure that's right. Anyway, here's Lisa with Santa Claus in a dress I believe my parents bought her, if I'm not mistaken. Now looking at this picture, Lisa can't be more than 4. So this is probably the year Renee was born. This is probably around 72 or so. This is Grammy and George. I'm trying to get the glare off George's face. There we go. And it's in front of the Christmas tree, and I would be willing to bet that it's the same Christmas. This is Dennis, his best friend, and his best friend's pregnant girlfriend, very pregnant, at our high school graduation. That means they have a 30-year-old kid. They probably have grandchildren. What is that stinky odor? Anyway, that hasn't changed too much. These are school pictures. Den, Lily, and Den. Grade 3 and 4 for Dennis. Grade 3 and 4. So I'm trying to think. What year that would be. Oh, my cats. Oh, my cats. I'm trying to think of what year grade 3 would be for well, Dennis and I. That would probably be, well, let's figure it out. He was 8 years old, right? So he was born in 75. 85 and 10. So it was 1983. And it's amazing what memories, and I have other pictures, but it's amazing what memories can come from not only being with your family, but looking at pictures. And then it pops into your head, gee, I remember that day, or things like that. I have a picture of my cousins. It's around here somewhere. The boys, as we call them, David and Dennis. And, oh my goodness gracious. They're going through their presents on Christmas. After they'd already opened them, they're just piled everywhere on the couch and on the floor. And it was a mess. And the funny thing is, I remember that day. I remember that Christmas. They lived across the driveway from us. I remember going over there and playing. That might have been that 1982 Christmas, actually, come to think of it. Playing with their slot car track. We took turns racing it. The controllers, I believe, are like little guns type things. And we played, they got the board game of Survey Says. Oh, crap. Why can't I remember the name of it? Survey Says. That's not the name of it, though. Hundred people surveyed. Top 7 answers on the board. Crap. Oh, Family Feud. And I remember Lisa having to pop out all the pieces, and there were a lot of pieces. That stupid game. Oh, it took Lisa and Renee forever because there was so many pieces to it, I know today board games are not huge, but they were plastic pieces on a plastic sheet that you had to pop out. It was like, wowie, And so I remember that. So it's funny, you look at something and you take yourself back to that day. And I think that's what's fun about genealogy is you can picture, it's kind of like reading, and we'll get into that in another video. You can picture yourself in that era, What is it like in that era, When you're reading about your great-great-grandparents, and you're like, they lived in the 1800s, This picture of them was taken in the 1800s. Maybe very early 1900s, because, well, the picture of my great-great-great-grandparents that I'm referring to was taken either in the late 1800s or the very early 1900s because she died in 1911 and he died in 1917. That being said, I understand from where I got the picture that it was taken in about the 1850s. And it's like, what in the world was it like to take a picture then? Well, for one thing, you sat there and waited forever. It wasn't instant gratification. They wouldn't know what to do with this. Speaking of which, I'm just there. They wouldn't know what to do with this, so it's certainly not the phone. But even a camera that takes your picture and you can see it right away, just by taking out a little this and putting it in a computer. They couldn't have imagined that. They couldn't have imagined a computer. Oh. I'm not even sure that they had a telephone. And they barely had electricity at that time. So you've got to figure, actually, they wouldn't have had electricity at that time. That was something wildly new to them, you know, and just to put yourself in the period, you know. And I think that's something that, excuse me, we don't do. And it's something genealogy helps us to do. But I will update you as soon as I get to see those records. Thank you for walking through my crazy Wilson family with me and letting me show you childhood pictures of the people that I spent my Saturday with. Thank you for being here. I've got a little bit of housework to do, and I will come back. I have a retro wrestling recap. I'll explain that. And a book video for you coming up today. Excuse me. So I will see you later. God bless you. Please click like and subscribe. Don't forget that bell. You can customize it, and it's all free. God bless you. I already said that, but that bears repeating. See you later. Bye, guys.